He left it to us. He said, I have done this too many times before, and I was wrong too many times before, so this is on you guys. I'll believe in your plan. So here we go. But, yeah, thanks to RC and everybody at RCR and ECR for building a really fast zone Chevrolet to put it on the pole. They should all be proud. We want to keep it that way and, start first on Sunday.
Well, congratulations. Do your thing, man. Appreciate the time.
Thank you.
All right, let's take a look at tonight's America 250 Florida Duel 1 starting grid. You met Kyle Busch from Las Vegas, who has his first Daytona 500 pole, and alongside last week's Clash winner from Connecticut, Ryan Preece, a Chevy Ford front row. Corey Heim, rookie, timed in on speed last night in his Toyota, and there's Alex Bowman, the only Hendrick Chevrolet that'll be in this first Duel race. Here's Jamie Little.
Well, Mike, Corey Heim is 23 years old, won 12 truck races last year, won the championship, and as you mentioned, locked himself into his first Daytona 500 last night. So what is his game plan here? He just told me before he got in the car, he said, I'm going for it. I want to know what it feels like to go for the win because I want to be in that situation on Sunday. He also said this is all about learning. He's so new at all of it. They've got to get one solid pit stop, make sure that this new pit crew is all firing together. Communication is good, so they are ready for the Great American Race. Mike?
Thanks, Jamie. Row number 3, Chris Buescher from Texas and Joey Logano from Connecticut. They're both in Fords, and they're both previous Duel winners. Row 4, Austin Dillon, a Duel winner in his Chevrolet from North Carolina, as is Corey LaJoie. That number 99 needs to race its way into the Daytona 500. He did so last year. Row 5, John Hunter Nemechek for Toyota from North Carolina, and Brad Keselowski from Michigan. Happy birthday, Brad. Turns 42 today. He won a Duel race back in 2022. Here's Regan Smith.
Well, Mike, it was a very different looking offseason for Brad Keselowski. Of course, broke his right femur in a ski trip injury earlier in December. Spent most of the offseason working on recovery, rehabilitation, getting ready to get back into the race cars. Got his approval that he needed to be in that number 6 car for this race at Daytona. Yesterday was about checking boxes. First time in the car, things felt good, no issues with the leg. Tonight is also going to be about checking boxes. They want to make sure with the more foot movement, with that right foot in the pack, lifting on and off the gas pedal, that things are all good for Brad as he tries to win his first Daytona 500 on Sunday.
Thanks, Regan. Ryan Blaney in a Ford, William Byron a Chevrolet. They're past Duel winners in row 6. Row 7, Cole Custer and Cody Ware, both in Chevrolet as a switch for this year. Jimmy Johnson, 2-time Duel winner, and Bubba Wallace, last year's winner. A.J. Allmendinger and Ross Chastain in Chevrolets. Shane Van Gisbergen and Daniel Suarez in Chevys. Then 2 drivers trying to race their way in. Chandler Smith in a Ford and Casey Mears. Finally, Noah Gragson, whose timing run was disqualified last night. More on that later. Let's check with our crew chief on new Aero Tech. Here's Larry McReynolds with a Toyota Cutaway car.
Well, Mike, the last few years at the high-speed racetracks with this Gen 7 car, when a car would spin, it would get up in the air and get upside down. Now, NASCAR continues to explore items to keep these cars on the ground at these high-speed tracks when they spin. Let's take a look at a couple of recent wrecks that got these cars upside down. This was right here at Daytona, the summer of 2023. Ryan Preece barrel rolling down the backstretch. The good thing is he raced the next week. This was a high-speed racetrack at Michigan back in 2024, a very similar wreck with Corey LaJoie. Now let's go to our Toyota Camry Cutaway car and look at some of the safety features that NASCAR continues to add to keep these cars on the ground. It starts with the roof flaps. When the car spins, the air pressure changes, the roof flaps deploy. The right side roof flap with that green cable, it releases the rear diffuser flap underneath the rear of the car. Full time in 2026 at all racetracks, we're going to run A-post flaps. They're controlled by the roof flaps with those yellow cables. And what happens when the car spins, the pressure changes across those A-post flaps and they deploy like the roof flaps. You see that latch right there? That's what those cables actually unlatch. Again, all of these things put together, especially with the addition of the A-post flaps, it just continues to reduce the liftoff probability of these race cars, Kevin and Clint.
Well, it's just a constant evolution of everything that NASCAR has done, and to add that flap on the A-post is a result of some of these wrecks. But NASCAR constantly updates these things to keep them as safe as possible.
And it's minimized a lot of them. We've seen a couple of them, but it sure does help. There's the Toyota Camry XSE that leaves the field here.
The lights are out on the roof, indicating to the drivers that we are going green this time by.
A lot of pressure on these guys and a lot of anxiety. That's one of the hardest things to control for the crew members, the drivers. Everybody is ready to race, and sometimes that leads to good results, and sometimes we see some mistakes early in these races. Got to take a deep breath.
These guys are professionals. I'm not going to show this. It usually catches me off guard every year how fast they adapt and how quickly they start moving to the front.
They start double wide. We'll see them 3, maybe even 4 wide as this race unfolds. There'll be at least one pit stop to get through 150 miles in Daytona. Green flag and Duel 1 is underway.
And you see right off the bat, Chris Buescher up behind Joey Logano to get himself in a position. We talk about the RFK cars. We talk about Joey Logano and the Fords. It's going to be interesting to see what the plan is with each manufacturer. Every one of these manufacturers is going to have somewhat of a plan. You see Corey Heim up there. He's not somebody that they're used to racing with up in the front of these packs. So a lot of things to be learned on a whole bunch of levels.
Ryan Preece on the inside, taking them off turn number 4, but Bowman comes up right behind Kyle Busch to the line, and Preece will lead lap 1. He led the last lap at the season exhibition race at Bowman Gray Stadium.
I'm glad you brought up Heim too, Kevin. These guys don't know him either. They want to learn that trust, and he needs to earn that trust, and this is a good opportunity to do just that.
Well, and he doesn't know either, right? And we talked about how fast his car is, and he wants to get in there and mix it up because he knows this is a great opportunity for him to learn at the front of this field. So really a lot of lessons will start to unfold as we get closer and closer to the end of this race, but you got to try to keep yourself positioned up at the front of this pack to have a chance to win.
Heim will run his first of 12 Cup races this year on Sunday in the 500. He's the reigning Truck Series champion, but without a full-time ride in any of NASCAR's 3 National Series this year. Preece on the inside, Busch on the outside. Preece in purple, Busch in green. Heim on the inside of row 2 with Bowman. Everybody pretty much marking time right now, right in the positions where they started. Noah Gragson started last, trying to avenge a mistake he made last night in qualifying when he failed to keep his eyes on the road and his hands on the wheel, as the Doors sang back in 1970, and got penalized for it. So he had to start last. He'll find his way up at least to mid-pack, maybe more in that number 4.
Well, that's just the long list of things that the driver is responsible for to make sure that you check all the boxes. And really, speedway racing is about checking all the boxes. As you see, Ryan Preece change lanes right there to get in front of that top line. So there's obviously a reason that Ryan would change lanes like that, and I would say that one of the reasons is the number of Fords in that outside lane.
Yes, sir.
He knows his best opportunity is to keep himself positioned because Kyle Busch isn't going to want to pull out and pass because he knows that Joey Logano is back there. So there's definitely a lot of strategy that goes into these races to try to put yourself in the right position.
A lot of experience with Kyle Busch on your bumper as well. You got that rookie on the bottom pushing right off the bat.
Well, how about Austin Dillon pulling his way up into second place in that Richard Childress number 3? I know that paint job, Kevin, as he takes the lead, looks pretty familiar to you.
Yes, that paint job is about 2003 to 2006. That was the paint scheme I ran on my GM Goodwrench Chevrolet. So cool to see that back on the track, and it's really cool to see it out front.
All right, let's listen in on Austin Dillon's radio channel here.
Just 42, 12 coming to push him now, 1222. Rest with us. Now there's 4 on the bottom, all 4's behind the 42.
John Hunter Nemechek to the front, and the Fords lining up behind him, 2 of them anyway.
Said it right there. I watched Logano move down on the bumper. They kind of got stacked up getting into one with Heim on that outside. Logano pulled right down there to the bumper of his teammate Blaney. Keep an eye on those 2 cars.
Now, you might think the 41 would be with them because Cole Custer was in a Ford last year. That team has now switched to Chevrolet for Haas Factory Racing. So on the inside, Toyota, Ford, Chevy.
Now, this is where I'm interested to keep an eye on Kyle Busch, your pole sitter, if that thing doesn't get tore up tonight, Kevin.
Well, he's got himself shuffled back there to 7th or 8th place, and now this is when it gets exactly what he talked about in our pre-race interview. I don't want to be 3 wide, so right now as he's starting to shuffle his way to the back of the field, that's when the anxiety starts to go up for our Daytona 500 pole sitter.
Now I want to get to the bottom right there and probably get myself out of this scenario. Still getting a good feel for his car and dirty air and things like that. He wanted to hear that, check that box, and that's what he's doing.
Now look at that 99 Corey LaJoie just ahead of Brad Keselowski. He has teammates in this race, and he is bracketed by them right now. Chris Buescher in front in the 17, and then Brad Keselowski in the 6 right behind. So he's in a great place. He's in the rocking chair, and if he can ride between those 2 other RFK Fords, he'll be in the 500, Regan.
Well, Mike, I asked all these teams about that specifically earlier today. Would you help the 99 at all, or would you just let him do his own thing? And they all said our best plan of attack is to get all 4 Roush Fenway Keselowski Fords lined up in the front of the pack, and we think we can control the race if we do that. If we do that, we don't have to worry about where the 99 is.
And there they are, led by Ryan Preece, 4 of them in a row.
When the pack is smaller like this and you have the numbers like that in the field, you can be very aggressive with those types of plans because the energy of the pack is not as great as it will be on Sunday. It's harder to make passes, but when you have the confidence in knowing that your teammates are behind you and you're going to make a move and you're planning your strategy, all those things make it easier when you know you have the numbers.
I'm going to give a tip of the cap to the other RCR car. Obviously, we saw the 8 car, Kyle Busch, on the pole, but how about his teammate in his 3 car leading the charge? Brought some steam down here this year, didn't they, Kev?
Well, we always know that RCR puts a lot of emphasis on these super speedway races, but some years it's better than others. We see the speed out of Kyle Busch's car on the pole. Austin Dillon was no slouch, qualified right up there in 7th. So now you're seeing that car be able to lead the pack, and that's what you want to do. And I know this, you can go and move from the front to the back, but in the end, you still want to try to have the best track position that you can so that you can control the race.
If I'm selling cars, I want to sell that car right there you see on the inside. John Hunter Nemechek, lone wolf right now, the only Toyota in the pack up front with these Fords and Chevys. Holding a pretty wheel.
Well, you had a good stat on that, Mike, yesterday.
Yeah, of all the drivers in this field, many would be surprised to learn that Nemechek has the best average finish of all the drivers in this field that have started, 3 or more Daytona 500s. Former 500 winner Austin Dillon in the number 3 leads Ryan Preece, Chris Buescher, and John Hunter Nemechek.
At Honda, we believe in the power of dreams. Once you have a dream, there's no telling how far you can go. That's why Honda is proudly supporting Team USA's Olympic and Paralympic teams.
Imagine your child not having a decent pair of shoes, socks, or a warm coat to protect them from the cold. Every child across the country deserves to have these basic clothing needs met. That's why Subaru and its retailers have provided critical items like these to over 1 million people in urgent need. Subaru, more than a car company.
Think switching to T-Mobile's a whole complicated thing? Nah, it's easy.
Switch to T-Mobile and unlock savings that are built to last. With T-Mobile's Better Value Plan, you can save over $1,000 a year versus Verizon and AT&T. Save on streaming, satellite, and more benefits that they leave out.
I get all the VIP perks. Don't mind if I do.
For a limited time, get our most value pack plan ever. Plus, switch right now and we'll even pay off your old phone up to $800.
Stay chillin', just switching.
Fast and reliable solutions from Comcast Business can help turn your business into a reliably up and running, cyber securing, performance boosting, storm preparing,
Wi-Fi backup is working,
reliably connected modern business. Powering the engine of modern business, Comcast Business.
I checked Allstate first and saved hundreds on my car insurance. Unfortunately, I did not check my outfit before meeting my girlfriend's family. Yeah. So check Allstate first, and you can save hundreds.
Welcome back to the America 250 Florida Duel at Daytona. Here's your aerial coverage brought to you by Goodyear. Tried, tested, proven, legendary. The Goodyear blimp will be here on Sunday. Well, the fast lane is the Ford lane, and it's on the bottom. Ryan Preece brought that group of Fords. 7 of the 8 cars on the bottom. Everybody but John Hunter Nemechek is in a Mustang. They're on it. Let's show you how the lead changed.
Yeah, you see right there, they just decided that it was time to go, and Austin Dillon was the guy that was hung out to dry, and we talked about them being able to take control of this race by numbers, and they have absolutely done that. And the only guy that's in that train, right, that Ford train right there on the bottom of the racetrack is John Hunter Nemechek, and right now he knows that he's at the mercy of everybody behind him, but he doesn't want to move. He knows that he's in a spot that is in contention at the front of the racetrack. He just knows that he's at the mercy of what they decide to do.
We also know that the strength obviously is in the numbers. It goes to the Chevrolets right here. We just need to find each other and work together, and you start seeing that formation on this outside. Let's see if they can make some hay and run them down.
Every position gained at the finish starts you 1 row closer to the front in the Daytona 500 and gets you a pick of pit position 2 cars earlier than the position you were running in.
And it all matters. You want to have the best of everything. If you're not torn up and you think your car is decent, you want to be greedy at this point, because that's what you're here to do. You're here to win the race on Sunday. So take every spot that you can get, and it all starts every single lap that we click off by putting yourself in a spot that is better than what it was the lap before and trying to be in contention to win at the end.
Now your open teams trying to race their way in. Corey LaJoie in 3rd in that Ford draft. Chandler Smith back in 14th. Casey Mears 16th. Mears trying to make it to 500 career starts in NASCAR's top 3 series. And he's just a handful away, but got a tall order ahead of him tonight. Mears in the 66. Chandler Smith out of the Truck Series in the 36, just ahead of him. But a ways to go to catch up to Corey LaJoie, and you'll see their names in yellow on our scoring pylon to help keep track of them.
Yeah, and we know that the speed of those 2 cars isn't what the other cars are around them. And I think when you're racing defensively on a super speedway race, you want to try to put as many cars behind you as possible to create a buffer. You don't want to be the last car in line, because it's really easy to lose the draft. So keep yourself in the middle of that pack and just let things play out and cycle out, and hopefully you can stay in that mix when you know you don't have the speed.
There's your Celsius camera on board A.J. Allmendinger. Started 17th, running 13th. 12th, that is.
Leave some room for that 8 if you want.
You can definitely see the speed lost through the corner of Casey Mears' car, but look at him pulling back down on those cars. They started to check up with AJ. He pulled right back on him. You just have to stay in that draft, Kevin, just like you talked about. And then at the end of this race, when them in front of you start making the moves and they get to 3 wide, that really punches a huge hole in the air, and your pace will pick up. That's your opportunity to pounce. Be patient. Just stay in there. Do not lose the draft.
Well, we see those Chevrolets starting to form up with William Byron up on that outside lane. And you see Kyle Busch right behind him right there. And they know that they're outnumbered, and they're going to have to get things a little more buttoned up in order to put themselves with enough cars to be competitive.
Watch Ryan Blaney in the 12 here.
Ooh. Got a hold of him in the bad part of the corner as they were entering the corner. The 12 car looked a little light on its feet, got loose, and then right as he did, the 22 got on his left bumper right there. Boy, you heard him clear up out of the gas. That was a close one, folks.
Yeah, and I think that as fast as Joey Logano caught him, it makes it seem like Ryan might have just breathed out of the throttle a little bit right there to check up, because he caught him really quick right there in a really bad spot. That could have been bad news.
Right in the lap of Kyle Busch, too.
Larry Mack, let's talk a little about positioning. If you're in the middle of this pack, you may not be burning as much fuel as the cars right up front, but can you save enough to make a meaningful difference on your one fuel stop for gas only?
Well, and we call it fuel saving, Mike, and yes, that's what it is, but it's not to be able to go a longer distance. It's about shortening up that pit stop. We ran some numbers earlier this week, and if you're running 90 to 100% throttle, that's about 5 to 5 miles per gallon. If you're doing about 50 to 60%, that increases to almost 7 miles per gallon. That means you can run about 8 to 10 more laps than anybody else, but the biggest thing, it's going to shorten your pit stop up by over 2 seconds. That's what you do. You're saving fuel, but it's to shorten the stop up.
And if that stop happens under green, that is a huge savings. Ryan Preece has led 13 of 16 laps in Duel number 1. From Chris Buescher, Corey LaJoie, Brad Keselowski, and John Hunter Nemechek.
Virginia.
What a jump!
Takes on Ohio State.
To the bucket! Oh!
Saturday at 8 Eastern on Fox Primetime Hoops.
Every time we drive, we're putting everything we love out on the road. And that's why we'll always drive a Subaru.
The all-new Subaru Outback, built to achieve the highest safety ratings possible. Love is what makes Subaru, Subaru.
Celebrate love
with 1-800-Flowers.com.
We were 11 years old when we met.
She didn't like me at all.
We played tennis together, and I told him that I was pretty good, and I wasn't.
She makes me want to be a better person.
Oh, these are cute.
Celebrate your love with 1-800-Flowers.com.
Alvarez. Who's Alvarez?
Americana for Alvin.
Corporal Alvarez. Well done. Thank you, sir.
Isn't it great that T-Mobile's got home internet?
T-Mobile home internet is all you talk about. Why don't you ask me a question for once?
Okay. What do you think about T-Mobile home internet only being $35 a month?
We need to take your mind off of this. You're obsessed. Come check out my new man cave.
Yes, T-Mobile's got home internet. Just $35 a month, and it's guaranteed for 5 years.
It's glorious.
PhoenixRaceway.com.
Tomorrow, right here on FS1, the world's fastest trucks take center stage. It's the NASCAR Truck Series from Daytona. Tomorrow, 7:30 Eastern on FS1. Join Jamie Little, Kevin Harvick, and Joey Logano for the call. Always an exciting lid lifter to the season.
And it is a stacked field. We've got Tony Stewart in the field. We've got Ricky Stenhouse, Carson Hocevar, Cletus McFarland.
And all the Truck Series regulars.
And all the regulars. It's going to be a heck of a race.
And a new manufacturer, Ram.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see a new manufacturer come back in and the enthusiasm that it brings with it. So we're excited about tomorrow as we ride on board the Busch Light camera with Ross Chastain.
Ross is in 14th.
everything's pretty tame right now. These guys are just trying to get themselves in the position that they think they want to be in the pack, try to put themselves around the right cars, and get ready to make that pit stop that we know they're going to have to make. So the positioning of the Fords up front has kind of changed the complexion of what everybody else is thinking, and I think a lot of them are like, okay, we got to get to that point, and then it's really going to be when the race starts.
All right, we listened in on the race leader's strategy. Here's number 60.
1799 and 6. Everybody in line right now on the bottom.
Yep, you just got to tell me when to merge up so I don't screw the fourth car in line.
Yep, 10-4. It is 1799, 642, and then the 12 and 22. You guys are all clear. You guys are all clear.
And right now, what Ryan Preece is talking about is tell him when to merge up so that fourth car in line can be the first one to block the lane that they want to be in. Well, guess what? There's two more Fords up in that lane up there in the top.
And they're coming.
Which is exactly the two that he was talking about moving up in front of. Now it's too late, to your point.
Blaney and Logano leading the top lane. Corey Heim, the rookie, right with them. Then Alex Bowman. Two Fords, a Toyota, and a Chevy on the top side. Fords on the bottom. Larry Mack, the fuel window's open. If they stop now, they could make it to the finish. But how long do you want to run before you think about coming in under green?
Yeah, Mike, I talked to a lot of crew chiefs in that garage area today, and yeah, the fuel window is somewhere north of 40 laps, 40 to 45 laps, maybe even a little further. The bottom line is, though, you want to run just as far as you can, but if you can keep a group lined up, one reason you want to run as far as you can is others start the pit. If you're in a good line, you can really make some good lap time until you absolutely have to come to pit road.
Okay. It's been 102 days since those drivers or those crews went over the wall to service these cars, but don't worry, they're in tip-top shape.
And they need the reps just like the drivers do. The drivers spend a lot of time in the simulator. The crew guys spend a lot of time behind the shop or at the shop doing pit stop practice, training in the gym. So you need those live competition reps to really get the bugs worked out of everything.
"27 laps complete. Let's take a look at the Xfinity fastest lap so far. Ryan Preece, 190.69 miles per hour, 47.20 seconds. Brad Kay and Casey Mears. That would be a PR lap. Mears in the draft, trying to work his way toward the front and qualify for the 500. He's back in 21st. Jamie?
John Hunter Nemechek right now in 8th, led 3 laps earlier. What a day he has had. He flew with the Thunderbirds earlier today. When he got done with that, went over to the Craftsman Truck Series garage where he hopped aboard for practice. He's one of those in that stacked field for tomorrow night. Right now, just telling his team he's trying to go somewhere, but he just can't. He doesn't have many friends. There's only 3 other Toyotas in the field, so he's riding.
I noticed a big difference in his driving last year about Sonoma time. And I talked to Jimmy Johnson, his car owner, and I said, what has been the difference? Because his finishing rate's improving, his running position's improving. What did you do? He said, we kind of slowed him down. We asked him to be not quite so aggressive, to take his time, think it through, plan those moves, and it's paid off. Battling here for 5th place as Ryan Preece leads Duel number 1 after 28 laps.
The Nashville Hoops Showdown, Saturday on Fox, Primetime Hoops.
Opening day, just like we used to. I love being out here with Sam again, especially at the big game. It's why I wanted more for my symptomatic obstructive HCM. So I asked my cardiologist about Camzyos. With Camzyos, my symptoms have improved, and I can be more active. It's a difference I can feel, and he can see.
Camzyos is proven to reduce obstruction in the heart 4 times more. Camzyos may cause serious side effects, including heart failure that can lead to death, a risk that's increased with serious infection, irregular heartbeat, or with certain other medicines. Do not stop, start, or change medicines or dose without telling your doctor. You must have echocardiograms before and during treatment. Seek help for new or worsening heart failure symptoms. Camzyos is only available through a restricted program. Before taking Camzyos, tell your doctor about all your medical conditions and current or planned pregnancy, as Camzyos may harm your unborn baby. Camzyos, first in its class to treat symptomatic OHCM.
It's great to be back.
Ask your cardiologist about Camzyos.
So I got this friend that said T-Mobile's network used to suck. His words.
A lot of things used to suck, like cell phones the size of frozen lasagnas. But things change, and after a giant test of millions of customers and data points, now T-Mobile has the best network, by like a lot. Check it out for yourself. You can switch to T-Mobile from your phone in just 15 minutes and see what it means to have America's best network. Hey dude, you won't believe where I am.
Welcome back to the America 250 Florida Duel at Daytona. Race number 1, Ryan Preece has now been out in front for 26 laps of the 32 so far, but my eye is on Chandler Smith in 7th place. That number 36 is trying to race its way into the Daytona 500. To do it, he's going to have to get past Corey LaJoie. He started way in the back. He's gained 14 spots. He's got a shot.
Yeah, while everybody else is being patient and try to take care of their car to get to this pit stop, he's made up some track position to try to put himself up further towards the front of the pack while everybody's not being so aggressive. And he knows that Corey LaJoie is surrounded by his teammates and needs to be somewhere right around him to have a chance.
On the outside, 2 Fords and a Chevrolet. Blaney, Logano, Bowman, all potential winners here. Then rookie Corey Heim and William Byron has joined that group.
And those guys on the outside are working really hard. Joey Logano has been pushing the heck out of that 12 car. You see him right here. He gets that run up on the back of the 12 again, but that hood on that 12 car or the 22 car, Clint.
Well, it just shows you the power that he's able to push in that car. We've seen that before, but I tell you, I've been riding along with Ryan Blaney. And the flip side of this conversation, you ought to see his eyes inside this car. Let's see if we can get that. Get a little of that.
Yeah, well, and as hard as they're working, makes me wonder about the speed of those cars. I know that the guys on the bottom of the racetrack are formed up pretty good, but typically when you start pushing like this and you see Logano is doing his job, you just don't want to have space in between those cars. You want to have that space as limited as possible through the corners, and as soon as you exit that corner, right back to the bumper on the car in front of you to maximize that push down the straightaway. You don't want to put them in a bad position in the corner, but you want to be able to utilize the straightaway like they're doing right here.
So those Penske Fords are working as hard as they can to hold pace with the 4 RFK Fords lined up out front.
Here it is. Watch Ryan Blaney as you're riding along inside that car. Watch his eyes as that 22 gets to him. He'll hear that spotter tell him, here he comes, big push, and he gets pretty nervous. His eyes get a little bigger.
Well, and Kyle Busch, you see our pole sitter, the Daytona 500 right there in the 8 car, now pulled up in front of Ryan Blaney. He wasn't going anywhere on the bottom lane because he knows those RFK team cars aren't going to leave each other hanging this early in the race. So when you have somebody that's lined up and see him coming on the outside, the best thing to do is move up in front of him and try to be the leader of that line.
I agree. Good move by Busch, and it's probably unexpected if you're Blaney. Thinking, yeah, me and my teammate are doing just fine out here on the outside. Oh, what's he doing? Now I got to push him past the other Fords. I'm in trouble.
Well, let's not forget about that Chevrolet body change and the different shapes of those front and back bumpers. Not only are the teams that run Chevrolets learning about their cars, but the other competitors. Ryan Blaney right now is trying to understand exactly how I can push this Chevy, because in the past it hasn't been great to push all over the place, might spin him out. So he's going to take this opportunity, give him a little bump here, give him a little bump there, and eventually that becomes more and more aggressive as you get more comfortable.
Or get a gap, right? What you see here, and as my teammate, comes to my bumper, push me on by him and make a move. But I don't think that'll happen because there's only 2 of those Fords now on that outside, and now Bubba Wallace, even behind Logano, may or may not go with him. So kind of put yourself in a situation where we're just going to ride right here. Won't be long till we're talking about pits. That's when I start thinking about Chandler Smith. I heard you talk about that, Mike. I like where he's out on the bottom. I like that he's got cars both in front of him and behind him. Just make sure that you do not slide the tires and do the things that you need to do. Get some temperature in those brakes and make sure that you do not speed on pit road.
Now, what we are used to seeing when we have green flag pit stops in the dual race is the manufacturers will want to pit each of their cars together, but not with the opposing manufacturers.
Well, crew chief, what are you thinking, buddy?
Well, business has picked up. The entire field here at lap 36 and 37 just ran their fastest lap, and the wide open throttle reflects it. Those Fords at the front, they are wide open all the way around this racetrack right now.
Wow. I just saw Logano try to make his move to the bottom, and he was trying to let Blaney in, but Blaney didn't go.
Well, the whole complexion of this race just changed when Larry said that they picked up that lap time. The whole pack closed up. They went 3 wide. The lap times picked up, and now we know that the business is for real, trying to get yourself positioned to be further forward for this pit stop, and the games are over.
Blaney's the one that missed the train.
Wide, middle.
Chandler Smith on the inside of Blaney now. No chatter on the radio yet as to which manufacturer will try to pit their cars first.
You see Mears back there. He's one of those go or go home cars moving to the bottom. Try to catch up to those cars, get as many behind you as you possibly can.
We saw in practice there was very few cars, maybe half the field, that practiced getting on the pit road. We saw a couple cars not practice. We saw a couple cars going slow around the apron of the racetrack, trying to take care of the bottom of the race car. But my point is, we're gonna have to make a green flag pit stop, it looks like right here, and we're gonna have to get all that we can getting to pit road, not sliding the tires like Clint talked about, not speeding down pit road, but we haven't done it yet. No. And this is going to be that first live rep under competition to getting on pit road and doing all those things.
Cars to the outside. Logano jumps out. Kyle Busch had a thought, but they're side by side. That creates a little space for the front 5.
It sure did. I don't know if that was Logano coming back to help Blaney. Blaney was that odd man out of the Ford camp getting down to the bottom. Looks like they're going to run another lap.
40 complete this time by 20 to go. The 4 RFK Fords obviously will put pit together, and Nemechek will likely come right with them. Why not?
Well,
free ride.
Yeah, and sometimes from the driver's seat, they want to be very secretive with their plans, and you don't really know what the plan is. And there are a lot of times when you're in this position, and it might be the plan for the Toyotas that we're going to pit on this lap, but when you're with all those cars, I'm thinking as the driver, I'm just going to pit with these guys because this is where I want to be running.
Go to the whip, baby. Look at these 2 Penske cars on the outside, driving to the front. Big push out of Blaney to the 22.
So we're hearing on the in-car radios, because of fuel saving earlier, they should be able to go to lap 44, maybe even 45 before they have to stop.
I am so impressed with Ryan Preece. Tell me Mo doesn't show up in this sport and make a difference.
There is nothing better than momentum.
Nope.
When you have the momentum on your side, it seems like the luck is on your side. You wind up with the right race cars underneath you, and it all just starts to line up. And those are the times when you got to capitalize on things. And right now, Ryan Preece, he's had a great week, winning in his modified, winning at the Clash last week, leading the qualifying race, got some speed in that car.
We see a lot of trouble coming on pit road trying to sort it out on these green flag stops, if there is one, and that's where I am a little bit concerned if I'm the 8 car in company with Kyle Busch and RCR Racing. I do not want to be any part of a situation where I'm 2-3 wide and somebody gets turned around coming to pit road and knocks the fenders off this thing and I don't get to start on the front row.
Well, if you're not on the same lap plan with them either, you don't want to run them over.
That's what I'm talking about, and it happens all the time.
But you also want to lose as little time as possible, because that's where you can gain or lose a lot of time is that shuffle getting on the pit road where you have to check up. because of the fact that they're coming to pit road, or you have to change lanes and all of a sudden you're out there by yourself. So a lot of time to be gained and lost in positioning getting to pit road.
Well, I would start sorting your ducks in a row right now. I think we're going to see some action here in the pit lane, and I think everybody's going to wait and see what the lead pack does first.
And that Logano and Blaney pulling down there. Going to be one more lap, Mike.
Yep. That'll be 44.
It's this time.
And there you go.
I'd say they're going to go ahead and pit next time. Bye, Kev.
I'm super surprised that they said that on the radio that early. And I think a lot of times, sometimes you get too cute and try to overthink this whole scenario and you screw yourself up. So you might as well just get to pit road. But we're going to see all this play out now with the different strategies and what everybody is thinking.
This is a lot harder than it looks coming on to pit road. You are flat carrying the mail off of turn 4, and all of a sudden the depth is hard. It's that line is your depth meter, and it's really hard to judge the distance and how hard you can charge into the pit road.
All right, if you're Nemechek and Busch 5th and 6th, do you pit with these Fords or do you wait and pit with the Chevrolets?
Wait a minute.
Or Toyotas?
I don't know who said pit this time, but he was lying. You were right, Kevin.
Well, you just, the games that are played up on top of that spotter's booth and over the radio and things like that, but you see that gap that it created, and I think some of that is probably John Hunter Nemechek thinking to himself, okay, I need to keep myself back a little bit, because when those guys slow down, I need to give them time to get below the yellow line so I don't have to check up.
You see these hands right here? Look for those hands coming out. That tells me we are definitely coming this time by.
And you see that spacing that everybody has right there, and that's purely to try to get a reference to be able to not run the guy over in front of you.
All the Fords. Oh, Mears back there turned around and got into Noah Gragson. This could be a caution right here.
Right here, looking left.
Well, let's see if they get away. Nobody behind them on the racetrack, so plenty of time for them to get clear, and we could stay green.
All right. Doesn't look the best.
Cole Custer is the leader from Bowman, Dillon, Byron, and Wallace.
They're stuck down here, guys.
And caution is waved.
There it is.
Well, and what that does is it allows the guys that are on pit road to be guaranteed that they're going to be at the front of the pack. And you see Noah backing up right there. And that's just a mistake on Casey Mears' part. And that's not being in the cars all the time and being able to get to pit road and just got in there with too much speed. And
he's got at least a flat right front, trying to spin that thing out of the grass. And we are under caution. Noah Gragson made it to pit road, did not stop in his pit, and drove through so he could stay on the lead lap. Tough break for Gragson, but kind of self-inflicted. Goes back to that problem last night.
There's the race off pit road. Priest had a bad pit stop. Looks like Buscher to the point. You can see Priest clear back here in the back right here.
Yeah, Buscher, Logano, Keselowski as they come off pit road. They won't be the leaders right now, but when the other cars pit under caution, they will cycle to the front.
Well, it takes all the suspense out of when the cars had pitted on pit road in the merge of who had the best strategy, who got connected the best. These guys have just guaranteed themselves that they're going to be in this order and the leader of the pack.
Regan, what happened on Ryan Priest's stop?
Well, guys, just to update, the stop was good. It was clean. It's exactly what they wanted to have happen, but he needed 4 seconds of fuel. I believe that was a little bit more than some of the other cars needed. And when we're talking half to tenths of seconds, that's all it takes to lose those positions right there.
Well, sure, he ran 38 laps in front of the field, so he is going to burn more fuel than anybody else. Let's watch coming to pit road.
Keep an eye on Mears right back here.
Casey Mears, Noah Gragson.
Yeah, just got in there too hot, locked the brakes up, tried to avoid the 4 car, lost control of the back, and that's where the contact came from. But that's purely just from the inexperience of doing this every week.
And there you see the race off. Priest was way late leaving the box.
Through nobody's fault, just having to take on more fuel than the others.
That's the price you pay for leading.
They'll sort out Logano and Buscher here at the exit line to pit road. And pit road is open for everybody who did not stop under green. or anybody who wants to come back in. Cole Custer, Bowman, Dillon, Byron.
Four, three, don't slide up, 2, 1.
Time stops for fuel. No tire changes. Pole sitter Kyle Busch.
Gonna put tires on Heim in there, the rookie. Probably a good move, Kev. Or maybe he slid a tire.
Under caution for the first time, Casey Mears into Noah Gregson, bringing out the yellow.
Virginia.
What a chip!
Takes on Ohio State.
To the bucket!
Saturday at 8 Eastern on Fox Primetime Hoops.
With schizophrenia, it can feel like your symptoms decide what you do and who you can be. If you have symptoms, be bold and ask your healthcare provider about Cobenfy, a twice-daily pill for schizophrenia. Cobenfy was created with a different approach in mind and delivered improvement in schizophrenia symptoms overall. Plus, in clinical studies, most people saw no substantial weight gain.
Don't take if allergic to Cobenfy, have trouble emptying your bladder or stomach, certain liver problems, or untreated narrow-angle glaucoma. Serious side effects such as urinary retention, worsening liver, kidney, bile duct, and gallbladder problems, slow stomach emptying, serious allergic reactions, narrow-angle glaucoma, increased heart rate, and side effects in those with kidney problems may occur. Don't drive or use heavy machinery until you know how Cobenfy affects you. Seek help right away if you have hives, swelling of your face, lips, mouth, tongue, or throat, hoarseness, difficulty speaking, breathing, or emptying your bladder.
Imagine what could be. Cobenfy.
Imagine what could be. Cobenfy.
Chevy trucks are as dependable as the Chevy people who drive them. They don't need permission to get going. They all have that little extra something. And maybe you got it too. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
The job search. It's so impersonal. Sometimes all you feel like is a walking resume. And the jobs you do find are just bad fit after bad fit. What's this? Indeed Career Scout, your personal career coach. Can it find jobs tailored to you? And help you get seen for all your skills? Well, the future of job searching has arrived. Try it at Indeed.com/careerscout.
I wish to present the importance of hard work and determination, of not backing down when things are tough, of being there to help a friend, because it is only when we work together that we achieve true greatness.
With a 100% U.S.-based workforce and a 100% U.S.-built fiber broadband network, Spectrum is America's connectivity company.
Saturday, the ACC and Big Ten collide in primetime for the inaugural Nashville Hoop Showdown. Number 15 Virginia takes on Ohio State. Saturday, 8 Eastern on Fox. The Duel at Daytona under caution with 12 laps to go. Now this is interesting. Casey Mears' car is stuck in the mud. You'd normally have to get a wreck or a rollback, but not anymore. Watch this. Up we go.
That's cool. First time I've seen that.
Yeah, it's the Baja kit.
Yes.
Well, we had so many problems with cautions coming out with cars getting stuck on the racetrack, so NASCAR and everybody created this lift kit to be able to get them off the ground and get them back to the pits.
Only 12 to go right here. Coming to the green, fellas.
Bubba Wallace, last year's winner of this race, in 12th place right now. Everybody's made their one pit stop. The only car we saw take tires was Corey Heim, the 67.
Look at this.
Or 6'7", Kevin, if you will.
6'7", Kevin, that rhymes.
Here we go.
Teammates on the inside, teammates on the outside.
Well, it's serious now. We're going to see what everybody has. We're going to see pushing. We're going to be seeing everybody push and shove as hard as they can. We see all those Fords stacked up at the front, those guys that were able to pit and get that caution to come out.
Well, right now, I might give you the front row and let you take the field because Chris Buescher and Joey Logano, those names were on pretty much everybody's lips looking at favorites for this one.
Well, you see right there, Chandler Smith, he's being aggressive going to the middle of the pack. Gets to the inside of... Gets to the inside of Ryan Preece right there.
And he can see Corey LaJoie just ahead and to his left, and that's who he's racing.
That's exactly
to make the
right.
500.
Door to door. Who wants it?
Yeah, and right there, all those alliances with your manufacturer. Chandler Smith doing what he had to do and put Ryan Preece in a really bad spot and send him to the back of the pack, one of our best cars in the field.
That's that lesson learned that you need to get out of the way right here early. Don't make that mistake, and the closing laps tend to go into 500. You won't be able to get back up there. Big time pushes.
And just for everybody at home that doesn't know, the open cars in this field are running 5th and 6th right here, Corey LaJoie and Chandler Smith. So there's a race within this race. You've got the guys that are going to lead the pack to win, and you've got one car that is going to make this field.
Yeah, it's the third car in both lines. That blue and gold car on the bottom and the white and blue car on the outside.
Only one of them will race here on Sunday.
A lot closer than both of those guys wanted it to be on either scenario.
Guys, they're bending the floor pan now, baby. 46.33. Everybody just ran the fastest lap of the race right there.
Well, you can throw all the fuel mileage, all that stuff out the window. Let's see what we got. Oh, big push. Got really close to that outside.
Well, we know Brad Keselowski is one of the best at this super speedway racing, but we've also learned and watched him through the years.
Joy got loose off of 4.
Not be scared to push as hard as he can, and he pushed Chris Buescher all the way down into turn 3 really aggressively, and that car was really out of control. Joey Logano in control of this race right now.
Logano looking for his 4th dual win, tries to come down and could not clear the 17 of Buescher.
Not necessarily the best scenario for the RFK cars. You would really want LaJoie in front of to control your destiny a little bit more, but that's not going to be the case right here.
And I promise you right now, they may have talked that before the race, but right now it's about winning this race and what you need to do for your car.
Well, it certainly is for those two on that outside.
If you need anything, 8 to go with the line. Make sure I'm straight. I'm straight, hammer it.
Watch it back for the Hunt Brothers Pizza Cam on Joey Logano's car. That is Penske teammate Ryan Blaney. Chandler Smith now up in the transfer spot.
Yeah, you see Kyle Busch there. He said, I've had enough. This is too aggressive for me. I don't know that I have the car to be able to win this race. Drops back and will be the pole sitter for the Daytona 500 with the same car in protecting it right now.
Smart move.
Chandler Smith in 3rd. How about that?
Now, as a car owner, this Keselowski in that 6th car is trying to figure out how am I going to help my other car, Corey LaJoie, behind me in my rearview mirror.
Well, I think right there, that's what you see out of Chris Buescher is trying to put that.
There it is. That's how you help him. You try to pass that guy, and that's exactly who they're racing, Chandler Smith.
Boy, they traded a lot of paint. That was very aggressive on Keselowski's part.
And that all started with Buescher, though. They put him in a bad spot by putting him on the outside, and he went to block, and Keselowski filled the hole.
And who capitalizes? Austin Dillon in the Chevrolet.
Did he go below the yellow line, or was he forced below the line? Is that going to be a penalty? Will they look at it? That's a question here.
Either way, they got that 36 car shuffled back and got Corey LaJoie back in a position that is a lot better than where he was.
You knew it was on Brad's mind, and he did that. He went for it, but he didn't go back far. Chandler Smith's right there on the right rear quarter panel of LaJoie. Here he comes on the outside again. It is not over.
Side by side for the last transfer spot. Who would have thought that's where we'd be with 5 laps to go?
Well, and a couple cars that have entered this race, the 23 of Bubba Wallace, the 24 of William Byron. We hadn't talked about them at all, but here they are as we get towards the end of this one.
Bubba, move to the bottom. Here we go. Look at this run on the bottom.
Still out there. Door.
It's a great time move getting into turn 1, shooting to that bottom, right to the lead. Good job, Bubba Wallace.
Bubba Wallace was 12th on the restart. He is up front.
Oh, he's wrecking.
Around goes Wallace, and in the wall goes Byron. Buescher And at least one other car. I think that's Chandler Smith.
I think it is Chandler Smith.
Oh.
It looks like some splitter damage on the bottom of that car.
And that's exactly what we've been talking about, those moments that are not your fault. And it's just a push gone wrong right here, and it collected a few cars.
Well, he was out quite a ways on those cars, and that he being Bubba Wallace. And as those cars caught him, the block was just too much. Turned him right around off the bumper of the 3.
Wallace restarted 12th. He was the winner of this race last year. Raced his way up to the front. Now
That
he's
rear looked like it could be down. It's hard to tell on television.
maybe headed for the pits.
Smoke.
Caution with 4 laps to go, and Byron's car, cattywampus, broken toe link at least as he comes across. Chris Buescher talking with the AMR safety team. Let's unpack this, fellas.
Much like I thought, that Bubba Wallace making that aggressive move, getting into 1 is a fantastic move, but it'll put him too far out in front of the 3 car. Here this train comes, boom, right there, turn him sideways, gets sideways again, and finishes him off.
And Austin Dillon can see that coming, but Chris Buescher could not see the distance to the back bumper of Bubba Wallace's car. So he thinks he's doing the right thing by continuing to push, but ultimately it doesn't let the 3 car slow down enough to not hit him too hard.
Whoa, look at Corey LaJoie on that bottom, and unfortunately right in the lap of Chandler Smith on that outside. Not as bad as it could have been, but that's a lot of front end damage, particularly down on the front of the splitter. Look at this ride. Woohoo, hold on to it. It's one too many times. There's the flaps, saving that car. Those came up, kept it right on
there. It is.
That new A-pillar flap to keep those cars on the ground and did its job.
I love that kind of
Fantastic. Save that car. Oh, that's a terrible feeling right in front of the pack, isn't it, Kev?
Well,
look at that thing come up and set right back down.
The good news for Bubba Wallace is he's just going to spin out right here. He's not going to have all that contact like you see all those guys up next to the wall are right there. So you just got to put some new tires on that one.
William Byron, Chris Buescher, Chandler Smith not so fortunate in this second caution flag of duel number 1.
I am an American soldier. I am a warrior and a member of a team. I serve the people of the United States and live the Army values.
Think switching to T-Mobile's a whole complicated thing? Nah, it's easy. Switch to T-Mobile and unlock savings that are built to last. With T-Mobile's Better Value plan, you can save over $1,000 a year versus Verizon and AT&T. Save on streaming, satellite, and more benefits that they leave out. I get all the VIP perks. Don't mind if I do. For a limited time, get our most value pack plan ever. Plus, switch right now and we'll even pay off your old phone up to $800. Stay chillin', just switching.
The Chevy Equinox EV is more than an SUV. It's your chance to catch up, your quick pit stop, and it takes you further on a full charge. It's your Equinox EV. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
At Honda, we believe in the power of dreams. Only dreams can turn a pursuit into a mission, passion into positive energy, and teamwork into a work of art. Because once you have a dream, there's no telling how far you can go. That's why Honda is proudly supporting Team USA's Olympic and Paralympic teams.
The job search. It's so impersonal. Sometimes all you feel like is a walking resume. And the jobs you do find are just bad fit after bad fit. What's this? Indeed Career Scout, your personal career coach. Can it find jobs tailored to you? And help you get seen for all your skills? Well, the future of job searching has arrived. Try it at Indeed.com/careerscout.
Virginia.
What a jump!
Takes on Ohio State.
To the bucket! Bam!
Saturday at 8 Eastern on Fox Primetime Hoops.
Things for yourself.
Sunday, the Great American Race on Fox. William Byron looking to do what no driver's ever done, win 3 Daytona 500s in a row. The 68th running is Sunday, 2:30 Eastern. Pre-race coverage starts at 12:30, only on Fox.
Well, in order to get to that third win, Mike, they're going to have to do a little work on that car.
I'm afraid so.
Man, you want to talk about just a roller coaster of emotions, what Daytona can do. Riding along here with Bubba Wallace as that pack catches him. I mean, you just coming off a 2, took the lead and have that emotion. Yes, I'm right where I want to be, and then, oh no, not good at all.
Yeah, and from that view, as you see all the flaps and deploy and all the cool things that NASCAR has done to keep these cars on the ground better, there's a lot more to that story than that short, that straight-on shot right there. As we go on this Xfinity in-car camera with Bubba Wallace, you can see all the work that he's doing, and he's just out there kind of at the mercy of the guys behind you. But from the 3 cars Poet in-car camera, we're going to be able to listen to him get off the gas.
Got pushed right through it, didn't he,
Kevin? You can't do anything when you're at that point. He knew he was approaching that car in front of him too fast. Got all the way out of the gas, but those guys behind him don't see that, and they just want to push that line as hard as they can to go forward. And ultimately, it's just too much momentum to the back bumper of the 23 car and spun him around. But Austin Dillon did nothing wrong right there. He was just being pushed too hard from the guys behind him.
That car, Bubba Wallace and his spotter, Freddie Kraft, will have a conversation after this. All right, what do we learn from this? It got out just a little bit too far than we wanted to be. What can we do to be better? Just drag a little bit of brake right there and not get that big gap and that huge rundown on us.
Behind Dillon, the accordion effect on the inside lane went all the way back to Corey LaJoie.
Yeah,
everybody was all
4
stacked
cars
up.
back, and sometimes that's when you get to the end of these races, you have to push as hard as you can push, and sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. But ultimately, in this scenario, it tore up a few cars. Jamie?
Chandler Smith trying to qualify for his first Daytona 500 after that hard contact with the outside wall. He came down pit road. They put 4 tires on it. They said the splitter is dragging. You can see a little bit up front. They're pretty confident there's no tire rub, but Chandler just told him on the radio it actually feels pretty good. So let's see what he can do coming from the back here.
It can still happen, Kevin. We've seen it before. All it takes is those guys to get together again and create a hole. If somebody leans into somebody getting into the corner, somebody gets loose, checks that line up, you're right back in it.
Yeah, and that's really the only chance that this car has right here of Chandler Smith to get into the race is if Corey LaJoie has trouble.
Well, now he'll be restarting last because his crew was over the wall too soon, as was Bubba Wallace's team.
Casey Mears is still in the race, but obviously he sat there spinning donuts in the infield, lost a few laps.
So we'll go to overtime for the first time this year, 2-lap shootout. If the leader takes the white flag under the green, the next flag will end the race. If we have a caution before the leader takes the white flag, we'll have a restart. Logano, Blaney, Keselowski, LaJoie, still 4 Fords at the front. Then Dillon, Suarez, and Chevys, Nemechek's Toyota. There's the
Kevin,
2s.
I can't help but to keep thinking about that 8 car and his decision to pull out of that pack. Think about the timing on that. It'd have been right in his lap.
And you just never know when it's going to happen. And sometimes an experienced driver like Kyle Busch just gets that feeling in his gut and says, this just doesn't feel right to me. I don't like the way that this is going. And it could be as simple as he didn't like the way his car was driving, but if his car was driving good, he'd still be in the front.
And that is important as we look at Jimmy Johnson and the Pi Barker onboard camera. Johnson back in 18th place. It's important for Kyle Busch because he retains his Daytona 500 pole for Sunday as long as he does not have to go to a backup car.
And this guy does as well. Jimmy Johnson, he took the 41st provisional starting spot, and we haven't said his name until right there when we went in car. He's doing the exact same thing that Kyle Busch is. Conserving his race car, already knows that he's in the field.
Well, you're looking at 9 championships between them right there. So
not bad.
They know something a lot of other people don't.
Well, he owns them too now. He knows how expensive they are to pull another one back out.
That's right.
So Corey LaJoie in the catbird seat as far as racing into the field, but Casey Mears and Chandler Smith are still in it. There is LaJoie. We'll start on the inside of Ryan Blaney. His teammate, Chris Buescher, checked at the infield care center and released after that crash at lap 56. All right, coming to Credit One Bank overtime. Green-white checker to decide this first duel.
4 Fords up front. They're going to control their destiny, but these guys are going to have something to say about it in the back, too. Who's going to be? You might be a Ford, but you got teammates on the outside, teammates on the bottom.
And it's 4 Fords from 2 different teams. Roush Fenway Kozlowski on the inside, Team Penske on the outside.
Well, you see Ryan Blaney and Joey Logano get connected really well. The bottom did good for a little bit, and Corey LaJoie came disconnected, but they've since have a little bit of space on the top. You see Logano right there. Looked like he drug some brakes trying to get himself back to Ryan Blaney.
And look what it did. Look at that power surge down the backstretch.
Boy, those RFK Fords have speed. They're going to be tough to deal with on Sunday.
Well, we've seen Corey LaJoie do this before. We've seen Brad Keselowski have so many moments where he's controlled the race from the front like this. And not only is he an aggressive pusher, but he's also an aggressive blocker.
Joey Logano trying for his 4th dual win. Ryan Blaney won one of these in 2018.
Cut out quite a bit here. Big surge coming on the outside.
Brad Keselowski in the 6th, a dual winner 4 years ago.
And we always talk about the Penske teamwork. I think we'll see the same thing from that bottom row from those RFK cars, because Corey LaJoie, all he wants to do is get into this race, but that top lane is surging.
Well, they're also together. Look at the chain. I talk about this all the time. Links in the chain.
Crash!
And it's LaJoie.
And he hits hard up into the turn 3 wall.
Oh, no. Where's Chandler Smith? Here he comes back there in the back. You can see him.
Good flag here.
Caution is out.
Yeah. Nice job, guys.
Logano to the flag under the caution. Joey Logano. Ryan Blaney. And we'll have to wait and see on the race-in driver.
Keep an eye on this, guys.
Because that caution flag would end the race.
Oh, my gosh. Kevin?
To see where they are at the time of the caution and who is or isn't involved.
Well, we talked about Casey Mears spinning some donuts down there and losing a lap, but he got the lucky dog and was able to put himself in position. But we talked about this. You got to be able to get to the end of this race, and you just never know when somebody else is going to make a mistake. And unfortunately, Corey LaJoie, wrong place, wrong time.
Terrible. Not at all what he was looking for, but it might be just what the doctor ordered for Casey Mears. Let's go back. We're going to make sure on this. It's not official yet. But right now, that old pylon says Casey Mears coming from the lucky dog. Got some lucky fortune right here on the last lap. Suarez is tore up there. Look at him.
All right, watch the caution light in the lower left. Here is the moment of caution as we have it synced up on our Fox Sports video, which is unofficial. Joey Logano wins his 4th duel, 2019, 2020, 2023, and 2026 for the Middletown, Connecticut driver. Most among active drivers. And let's see, who picked Logano in the pre-race?
I don't remember.
Well,
Mike.
if I'd been in the pre-race, maybe.
That's who you were going to pick.
Clint couldn't remember his pick.
I picked Chris Buescher.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that was a good pick, but
strong car. Hate to see all those cars get torn up.
And there is Casey Mears, who unofficially
look at the damage on that car.
His 14th Daytona 500 start on Sunday.
He was clearly in it.
You're from Bakersfield, where the Mears name is legendary.
Well, the Mears gang in Bakersfield, if you raced, that's who you rooted for. So Casey Mears.
Guys, watch this. Watch this car clear back here in the back. We are out of this thing. LaJoie is in it, clear up here. They start collecting down on the bottom, and look him coming on the outside 3 wide, and watch what happens right here. Shoots to the outside, barely misses LaJoie, shoots into Suarez and off into the sunset and in to the Daytona 500. It can happen that fast.
And he knew it, Clint, because I don't think he's lived it yet. He knew that he had to plow his way
the only
through
card
right
he
there.
had.
Caution flag on the last lap ends the race.
That is so
and
wild.
Carrying a decal, remembering the Biff. Be like the Biff. Well, he was tonight. Hammer down and let's go for it. Did I make it? Yeah, I think you did. How about that?
He went for it. Full send, wide open, never lifted. Paid off, didn't it?
It absolutely did. And this is what the type of situation for teams like this makes their year.
Absolutely.
You talk about, and it's not official yet, but whoever makes it, I mean, this will make their year from a purse standpoint and just a pride standpoint, and to put your car on that grid for your sponsors.
I saw him last week at Barrett Jackson. He lives in Phoenix, comes out to the auctions, and was talking about how excited he was for this 500. And he says, I hope we can find some speed. I hope we can get there. And we're going to give it our all. So we are still waiting for official word as to the positioning of Chandler Smith and Corey LaJoie and Casey Mears for the official word on who has raced their way into the Daytona 500. It is Casey Mears. He is going to race on
Unbelievable.
Sunday. How about that?
Just in the blink of an eye, that fast.
And that's how it happens on these super speedways. I mean, if you're still rolling, you're still in it. And you know, Casey made a little mistake coming on the pit road under green, lost a lap down there, got the lucky dog, and threw a Hail Mary right there going through that wreck, hoping that he made it, and ultimately put himself in the Daytona 500.
Absolutely crushed for Corey LaJoie. He was doing everything right. He was in the exact same, the right spot on the last lap, going into turn 3. Everything was going right. That outside line got messed up, and it was right in his lap, turned him around.
Well, here's a champion and one of the best of the big money racers in NASCAR.
Well, we talked about Joey Logano's year last year, and we hear, you know, that they've changed a few things on their team and know that they need to get back to victory lane, and here they are. Regan?
Well, for the 4th time in his career, after the Duel races, Joey Logano, you find yourself as a winner. Race got really exciting at the end there. How were you able to make the right moves to hold them off?
Just a lot of teamwork all the way through. You know, I think about the 22 team in particular. Nick Hensley, our gas man, did a fantastic job getting us positioned off of pit road. Coleman Presley up on the roof giving me great information, and then my teammate Ryan Blaney being committed and working together. So the whole plans, everything's nice when everything works out the way it's supposed to, and just got a great team around me. I got a great Ford Mustang, and it's great to see this yellow and red Ford Mustang back in victory lane. It's you know, a lot of partners have been sticking with us for a long period of time, and have one back at the shop. It's a great place to start the season here.
Looking for your second 500 win on Sunday in the Daytona 500, excuse me. Did you learn what you need to learn on this 22 car as it especially got down to the end of the race, but even earlier on?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some things I want to work on. There's no doubt, but it's always like that. But I do think we have a strong race car. It's obviously a fast race car. We proved that tonight, so that's a good piece. You got to have speed. We'll work on some handling pieces, but I feel like we're pretty close.
Joey Logano wins Duel race number 1 in Daytona.
Thanks, Regan. Now, the delay in figuring out which of the race-in cars made it had to do with whether or not all 3 of them were deemed involved in that crash. Jamie.
And Casey Mears and this little team that they get it done. It's official. I don't even know where to start with that, but take us through those last moments and how you ended up here.
Well, I mean, probably a little bit of power of prayer. There's a lot of that going on in the car, and you know, just couldn't thank everybody enough for getting us here to begin with. But yeah, I had an issue on pit road, and I got to run around the outside, and I figured I'd just stay in the gas no matter what happened. And when I saw him spinning and I missed the first guy, I thought, okay, good. And then I hit the 99 that I hit square. Anyway, I hit somebody square, and I knew when I hit him flat, it didn't tear up the car too much, and I was going to be able to get back. But I didn't know who was in front of me still, you know, whether or not we made it. And then all the guys started going nuts on the radio. So I want to say hi to Trish and the kids back home. I can't believe we're here based on our night and the way that it went. I want to thank Car Security Systems, SI Yachts, the Gracie Foundation, most of all, Bob Germain. I mean, this guy's stepped up and put me here.
Unbelievable. This team, 10 people on this car. Carl Long, how do you guys get here, and how do you move forward to Sunday? You got a shot at this now.
It's a really good question. I don't know exactly what the rules are, how they sit. I don't know what's repairable on this and what isn't. I think we do have another car that we plan to take to Atlanta. In case we didn't make the show, we'd have something ready to go for Atlanta. Maybe we can get that ready. I don't even know what the rules are. I just know that we made it. The car's damaged. We got to figure it out. I'm just really happy to be here.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Mike.
Oldest driver in the field at age 47, and I think everybody who's been in racing for a long time has got to be happy for Casey Mears. What a way to make the race. Joey Logano wins it. Casey Mears races his way in. Half the cars that started ended up with damage, and this is only race 1 of 2.
Virginia.
What a chip!
Takes on Ohio State.
To the bucket!
Saturday at 8 Eastern on Fox Primetime Hoops.
So I got this friend that said T-Mobile's network used to suck. His words.
A lot of things used to suck, like cell phones the size of frozen lasagnas. But things change, and after a giant test of millions of customers and data points, now T-Mobile has the best network, by like a lot. Check it out for yourself. You can switch to T-Mobile from your phone in just 15 minutes and see what it means to have America's best network. Hey dude, you won't believe where I am.
The Chevy Equinox EV is more than an SUV. It's your chance to catch up, your quick pit stop, and it takes you further on a full charge.